Welcome to this episode of Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection. And in this episode, I'm going to be going over the Tucson housing market report for April 2022. And I'm going to make a bold prediction. And even though I don't have a crystal ball and I cannot predict the market, it's a gut feeling that the top of this market is going to be May and June of 2022. And then we're going to start to see some massive changes in the housing market. And again, that's my prediction. I'm going to go over the numbers and tell you all about what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. Hello, my name's Tyler Ford, Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty. And again, welcome to this episode of the Tucson housing market. We're going to dive into the numbers, but a couple things to talk about is I do feel this market is slowly starting to shift and the top of this market is here. And there's quite a few reasons as to why I feel that way, but nothing lasts forever. I've always been saying it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when in terms of this market shifting, and there's always a catalyst that begins to cause that. And the catalyst, there's quite a few of them. Interest rates are as high as they've been since 2011. We're sitting at 5.3% on a 30-year fixed. Back in July of 2021, rates were at an all-time low of 2.75% on a 30-year fix. So we've seen interest rates move up 2.5% over the course of the last 9 months. On top of that, consumer price index and inflation at an all-time high, and home values have appreciated double digits over the last couple of years. So what's happening now with interest rates moving up, home affordability is now through the roof, and people can no longer afford homes based on their current price. So at some point, something's got to give. It's either interest rates go way down so people can afford it, or prices have to back down in order to make home affordability that people can buy. And mortgage rate applications for purchase money, mortgage applications are way down as well. So there's some signs that this market is starting to shift. Again, people can no longer afford these the homes based on the payment, because at the end of the day, for the majority that are getting a mortgage, they're buying a payment, what they can afford. And again, with rates going up, people can no longer afford it. So I do feel this market's starting to shift. I think the top of the market is here. Again, that's just my opinion. It's a gut feeling. I was in the middle of the last meltdown in 2008. And that shift started in May, June as well. And then for as far as Tucson and what our housing market looks like, usually May, June is really good. School's getting out of session. Parents are looking to buy before their kids get back in school, and then they want to go on vacation. And then typically what happens in the Tucson housing market is from the 4th of July till the mid to into September, things do slow down. And then as the weather cools off into September, October, and the snowbirds come back, things start to pick up. So again, it's a gut feeling. We're going to keep a close eye on it. But in my opinion, I feel this market has topped out. And I'm going to dive into the numbers and show you what's going on for the housing market report for April. The numbers just came out. And again, we're going to keep a close eye on what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. Let's dive on into the numbers. And the first number I want to go over is what we call percentage of list. And that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, what percentage of the list price are sellers getting. In a normal healthy market, percentage of list is anywhere from 92 to 97%, meaning if somebody listed a home for 100,000, they're going to get anywhere from 92,000 to 97,000 in a normal healthy market. And for the past year or so, percentage of list has been at 100% or slightly higher. So sellers are getting their list price and above in the current market that we're in. So for April 2022, percentage of list for single family homes was 101.8%. So sellers are getting 1.8% above their list price when selling a home in the MLS. For townhomes and condos, percentage of list was 102.6%. So they're getting 2.6% above the list price for April 2022 for townhomes and condos listed in the MLS. Now let's talk about what we call months of inventory. And that is, if no other homes were to hit the market today, how long would it take for all the inventory to be sold off in the MLS? In a normal, healthy market, months of inventory is going to be anywhere between 60 and 90 days in a normal, healthy market. We've been well below that. Even prior to COVID, we had a month and a half of inventory at most. COVID hit, it just accelerated things, and months of inventory has been under 1 month of inventory for quite some time now. So for April 2022, months of inventory of homes listed in the MLS, single family homes, was 0.8, which is 24 days. So if no other homes were to hit the market today, all the homes in the MLS would be sold off within 24 days. So for townhomes and condos, months of inventory is 0.6, and 0.6 is right around about 18 days. So again, townhomes and condos, 18 days if no other homes were to hit the market, townhomes were to hit the market today. The next number I want to cover is what we call days on market. And that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, how long does it take for the home to go under contract? Not from the time that you list till it actually closes in the MLS. So days on market, on average, a normal healthy market is anywhere from 45 to 60 days. We've been well below that. So days on market for single family homes listed in the MLS for April 2022 was 17 days. So you can expect when listing a home to go under contract if priced right within 17 days. Townhomes and condos, average days on market was 9 days. So townhomes and condos are selling super fast. One of the reasons is home affordability. They're less expensive. People are gravitating towards townhomes and condos just because they can afford them, especially if they're getting a mortgage and their debt to income ratios are tight. They're gravitating towards less expensive homes. So townhomes and condos, hot commodity. There's also not a lot listed in the MLS. Therefore, days on market is lower, 9 days. So if you're listing your home and it's pricing right, whether it's a single family home, townhome or condo, you can expect to be under contract on average within 17 days or less. Right now, you're probably asking, what are home prices doing in Tucson, Arizona? Well, as everybody knows, they've been going up. We've been seeing double-digit appreciation over the last couple of years. And again, in my opinion, just a gut feeling, we're to the point now where because of interest rates going up, prices going up, people are now being priced out of the market, and it will slow this market down because home affordability is now a big issue. I do feel that May, June of this year is going to be the top of this market. We're going to see prices kind of stabilize from here. And then again, my gut feeling is we'll start to see a slowdown in this market and the market start to soften up. So for single family homes, April 2022, the average sales price was $375,000. That's a year-over-year appreciation of 17.1%, and 375 is the median, not the average. I like to use the median. It's a more realistic snapshot of what home prices are doing. The average, there could be a really high sale that could end up skewing that number. So the average jumps around a little bit more, where the median is a little bit more stable in terms of getting a better understanding of what home prices are doing. The median sales price for townhomes and condos for April 2022 was $252,000. That is up year-over-year appreciation of 23.2%. So again, time will tell. And I do feel this market is slowly starting to top out. And I think May, June will be the top of this market. And again, that's just my prediction. Now I'm going to go over my favorite number and the one that I look at on a daily basis. It's the leading indicator, in my opinion, in terms of what's going on in any market. And that is inventory. the amount of active listings in the MLS for single family homes, townhomes, and condos. It's economics 101. And for the last couple of years, we've had far more demand than we've had supply. That supply has been drastically reduced, and there's been low inventory levels and not a lot to choose from. But we are starting to see a tick up in inventory and a change. In my opinion, I'm starting to see some price reductions. People aren't getting the top end of this market in terms of price, and this has just happened in the last couple of weeks. So again, something to pay attention to. It's the leading indicator. Inventory levels are still low, but they are, in my opinion, starting to tick up. So active listings in the MLS for single family homes, April 2022, there's 990 active single family homes listed in the MLS. For townhomes and condos, there are a total of 128 active townhomes and condos listed in the MLS. And in a normal healthy market, total inventory is anywhere from about 3,500 to maybe 4,000 active total listings. So we're well off where we need to be back to kind of an equilibrium in terms of supply and demand. But again, it's something that I watch on a daily basis, and each and every month you might want to watch one of my lives. I do a live and I dive in and we look at what's going on with the inventory levels here in Tucson, Arizona. Well, that wraps up the Tucson housing market report for April 2022. And again, time will tell. I do feel we are getting close to the top end of this market. If you're buying on an FHA or VA loan, I would caution you to kind of just maybe put the brakes on, not chase the top end of this market, and save enough money to be able to weather a storm when and if this market does change. Because at the end of the day, home ownership done the wrong way can actually be a liability and a burden. So I would encourage you to possibly save up a little bit more money, put 20% down, and be patient, because I do feel that this market will begin to shift. There's going to be more inventory, and buyers are going to have a better negotiating position than they've had in the last couple of years. So time will tell. But again, I do feel we're getting pretty close to the top end of this market. Keep in mind, we've got a 16-foot box moving truck. So if you use us to buy or sell a home, you're more than welcome to use the truck. And even after the fact down the road, if you ever need to move appliances or furniture or pick something up at Home Depot or Lowe's, you're more than welcome to use our moving truck. I hope you got value out of the Tucson housing market report for April 2022. If you did, do me a huge favor and give me an internet high five by liking the video. If you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and comment below, and myself or somebody on the team will get back to you. And for more awesome videos about living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, make it a great day.